All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Going to be jumping into the top prop bets in the NBA on Sunday. Let's go on and get into it. And so, guys, I will be doing a game-by-game breakdown, covering all my favorite bets on both PrizePicks and Underdog, but also just traditional sportsbooks as well. The point of releasing these videos the night before is so that we can gain some early advantages on the books. But I want to start with this first bet. I want to reward people basically that are watching this video early and often. Now, this video is coming out pretty much at midnight, I would assume, or pretty late in the evening, so I don't blame you if you aren't watching it on time, but this is seemingly a very good bet here. Julian Champagnie for over 4.5 rebounds. And right away, just when we pull it up here on Underdog as well, we're going to see that they have the line set at 0.89x as well. So they're saying the over there is already a great bet. That was already one of my favorite bets that I liked on the day. And so just quickly getting into this one specifically, and then we'll get into the game-by-game breakdown. One, he already averages 5 rebounds on the season per game, but also the Spurs are going to be without Keldon Johnson and Zach Collins as well. This is a bet that I actually liked on the last slate as well, where he was able to get 5 rebounds in that game. I think it was at actually 5.5 that game, so he might not have got the over. But anyways, 31 minutes in that game, which was awesome. Okay, now Castle is expected to be back in this game, which could mean we're going to see a little bit less minutes, but you look at his per 36 production, guys, he averages 7 rebounds per 36 with Keldon Johnson and Zach Collins off the court. So he might not get 36 minutes, but regardless, if we're going to get around 30 minutes, that is too good. I actually don't mind his over points as well. It's not a terrible bet. And they are going against Minnesota, who they did face earlier on in the season. He had 29 minutes in that game and 6 rebounds in that game as well. So I think that's a good bet to start off with. But I saw that one pop up on the 9 to 5 cheat sheet, and I wanted to start with that one for you guys. All right, but we are going to be getting into the game-by-game breakdown, starting with the early game. We got the Pelicans versus the Pacers. Okay, now this game is projected to be pretty massive. Like 246 is the over and under for this game, which is pretty crazy. I don't know if that's going to come down or not. The Pacers are favored to win by like 4.5 points. But guys, one of my favorite bets is going to be CJ McCollum to get over 21.5 points. I'm going to pull his profile up here on PrizePicks. Just note their line is at 22, which I would argue is also a little bit too low. So you look at his per 36 production with, and there's a long list of players out. Jose Alvarado, he's out. Brandon Ingram, he's out. Zion Williamson, he's out. And Jordan Hawkins, he's out. Kind of some decently high usage rate players. He averages 25.6 points per 36. I honestly assumed when I saw the game total of this game, and then also saw that those players were all still out, that his points line would be at least at like 23.5 at the very least. And that's the only reason I thought that is because they were so low on him in the last game when we were on him to get over 21.5 points as well, where he crushed it and had 36 points. So I just thought naturally they would raise his lineup, and they didn't. We are still getting this at 21.5. It really doesn't make sense, especially with this projected high game total. If Vegas is right about the game total, one, it shouldn't matter because he should still be able to get his over per 36 wise. But two, if they're right, that just increases his likelihood to be a part of that reason as to why this game is a high scoring game. So that's a crazy line to me. I wanted to call that one out to you guys. And then as well, I do like Trey Murphy to get over 18.5 points. This one doesn't feel like as much of a lock and load bet. You look at his per 36 production with those players off the court. He does average 20 points per 36 with those guys off the court. But the thing I want to call it with Trey Murphy is that he has been getting more than 36 minutes, especially in games that have stayed close. Again, given this high game total as well, I expect him to be part of the reason as to why that is occurring. Okay, we see recently 21 points, 25 points, 16, 19. The shot attempts could be a little bit higher. That is something that does concern me a little bit, is that he's not really getting a high volume of shot attempts, and 18.5 points is decently a high number when you're not shooting the basketball 15 plus times per game. Now, these two teams did meet earlier on in the season, guys, and in that game, we did see Trey Murphy have 24 points in that game. So that's part of the reason as to why I like it. And if you look at the Pacers in terms of their points given up to small forwards / shooting guards like Murphy, they're the 4th easiest matchup, giving up 23.3 points as well. So pretty solid there. And for what it's worth, guys, as well, I think it's worth calling out with CJ McCollum while we're here that he also had his over in this matchup as well earlier on in the season, where he was able to get 23 points in that game. And so another reason as to why I'm shocked that line's there. Now, by the time most of you guys are watching this, probably Sunday mid-morning, I don't know, after you get your NFL bets and whatnot, this one I wouldn't be shocked to see already bumped up. Like, we're getting his line at his average. That's just crazy to me. Okay, guys. So, all right, the game odds have updated since when I wrote down the notes for this. So it's at 227.8. So not egregiously high, but it's still a high scoring game. So I want to clear that up. It's still a high scoring game. That's great. But they are now 5.5 point favorites. Again, the whole point of doing these videos early is so that we can get some edges on some early lines that are probably, a little bit skewed or a little bit just based off of players' averages. Now, I like Haliburton to get over 8.5 assists here as well. We see the line is basically a 50-50 split as it sits right now. But in this matchup, guys, Haliburton did get the over in the last time out, which I think is pretty solid. He got 13 assists in that game. And you look at the matchup with the Pelicans, this is the second easiest matchup for opposing point guards as well. The Pelicans give up an average of 10.5 assists as well. You could also do is over 4.5 rebounds if you guys want to. I don't necessarily see the need to go out of that. This is more of like a traditional sportsbook bet. Or sorry, bet his under 4.5 rebounds. And that's mostly because he has a 92% hit rate on that under for the season. So that's okay. But if I'm like stacking the game and trying to target it as a high scoring game, I think I'd rather just target assists and then go with Trey Murphy and then CJ McCollum for over their points there as well. I think those are two solid bets there. And then with that, guys, I want to jump into the New York Knicks versus the Orlando Magic game. To me, I didn't see that many bets for the Knicks that I like. I kind of like two bets for Orlando, and that's going to be with both of their bigs. We got Goga here I like his over rebounds, but I want to point out his minutes while I'm here. So he had 38 minutes in that game, 31 minutes there. If these games stay close, for the most part, it seems like he's going to get the run, but he has gotten more run recently. And part of the reason as to why is because Franz Wagner's out and Paolo Banchero is out as well. Now, I'm going to jump into the underdog slide, but we are going to see that this game total is 216 and a 5-point spread in favor of the Knicks winning. So not a game that we would naturally stay away from. And actually, I was going to pull it up on Underdog, but the bet that I like is over rebounds. And you could bet his over points as well. I'm perfectly fine with that. But let's talk about his rebounds. So the reason why PrizePicks doesn't have their lines out just yet and why Underdog was not popping up on the cheat sheet, because I only do standard bets on Underdog on the cheat sheet. But I do want to call it, I do like this bet here of 1.07x here for Goga to get over 8.5 rebounds. It's mostly a bet on those minutes being there for him. If he can get 30 plus minutes in this game, then he should be part of the reason as to why this game is staying close as well. You look at his per 36 production with those two players off the court, averaging 14.8 rebounds per 36 with Banchero and then also Wagner off the court. And so we saw the minutes in the last two games now where they have been 30 plus. And so I do like that over bet there for him. Now, if he doesn't get there, I don't mind the idea of betting on Wendell Carter as well. I feel like his minutes are less secure, but you look at his kind of per 36 production with those players off the court, he should be able to get over 7.5 rebounds as well. I would pick or choose one or the other, like which one would probably get the most minutes. Maybe Cat gets Goga into foul trouble, where then Carter gets more minutes, or vice versa. So I don't think we really want to double dip, but those are both a little bit too low. I like Goga the most, and I like the fact that we're getting a plus payout on that. So then, guys, let's go ahead and jump into this Boston versus Washington game. Now, Washington was part of our nice bet slip 2 nights ago. Speaking on kind of just the results, it looks like we hit a double up on a little bit more than a double up on Underdog, 2.5x there on Underdog today, which is solid there. A lot of those were college basketball. Went 1 for 3 in the NBA, kind of a tighter slate. I kind of mentioned that. And then PrizePicks wise, currently 4 for 4 with the bets. We'll see how the rest of them go. So pretty solid day overall again. But I kind of bring that bad transition here. I kind of bring that up because 2 nights ago, Washington, I mentioned I really liked them. I liked the edges that we were getting on a lot of the lines there for them because they were going to be without Malcolm Brogdon, who is a strong player for them. One of the better kind of underappreciated assets in the league. I think if he went to a playoff contender, the Bucks, he could make a big difference for a team and help them win a championship. But you also have Corey Kispert out still, and then Kyle Kuzma still out. And so with those players out, it wasn't a shock to me that Alex Sarr had a good game. Now, that game against Cleveland was supposed to be a bigger blowout than it was. I mean, 10 points is nothing. This game against Boston is supposed to be much more of a blowout here as well. So I do want to target players probably like Alex Sarr who are still going to get run in a game that could be a blowout. And so we take a peek at some of the bets that we're getting for him. I don't mind really any of the bets that we are getting for him. His per 36 production, not going to get 36 minutes, guys. He's probably going to get closer to 30. Averages 27. We don't have projected minutes just yet because it's the night before. But the bet I like the most is going to be his over rebounds of 6. Per 36 wise, he averages 9.8 rebounds per 36. And recently, he has been getting a little bit more run, 7 rebounds, 8 rebounds, 9 rebounds. And so that's part of the equation. Is those same players still out? We see the recent game log, he's had success there. Not a lock and load bet, more of a game stack bet if you guys find some other bets that you like there. And then a bet that I like a little bit more with him would actually probably just be his over points of 10.5. He averages 16 points per 36 with those players off the court. And so we look at the line that we're getting here with his points. We can see his average. I'm using DraftKings, by the way, if you guys have ever wondered what I'm using here. I like his over points because we're getting it at his current season average. They're not adjusting for those players being off the court. And then another bet that I like is actually going to be with the other Champagne brother that plays for Washington. I like his over rebounds as well. So double dipping there here, which is kind of with rebounds as well, which is kind of interesting. But again, you kind of look at his production with those players off the court, guys. He does average 8 rebounds per 36. And I think his minutes are going to be much more secure than maybe something like Alex Sarr. And so we look at the minutes that he's gotten recently, 36, 34, 20, or 37, 29. And so even if he gets like 30 minutes, I like the over still for his rebounds. Now it is an increase. Okay, we are betting on the increase. Only averages 5. But that partially comes due to his minutes as well. We are expecting that minutes increase there as well. So maybe we get news that that isn't in our favor, like some random, maybe Corey Kispert is randomly active again or something like that. That could happen. That's always something that can be part of the equation, but this seemingly is a good bet for us. And now let's jump back into that Spurs versus Minnesota game. Another bet that I like is going to be Chris Paul to get over 8.5 assists. Now, Chris Paul got thrown out of his last game, and I think he's just going to be a little bit more motivated to play well in this game because of that. That's part of the equation, but also his assist line, it does seem to be too low. Again, Keldon Johnson, Zach Collins are out. They're actually decently high usage rate players for kind of bigger guys and guys that don't play that many minutes. And so you take those players out the court, something like CP3 does benefit. Now, again, he's not going to get 36 minutes, projected to get 29. So we have a projection for him, but that's a slight increase from his average, not much. But regardless, he should still be able to get his over. His per 36, though, with those players off the court is 10.7 assists per 36, which is a slight increase. His last game against them, against the Minnesota Timberwolves, had 13 assists in that game as well. So that all bodes well for him. We see all the data points here. DVP projection, about 8.53, so like the fact that that's favoring the over there. So pretty decent edge there, I would say. This is probably a better traditional sportsbook bet, though, just because the under is somewhat favored there, even though it's a 51% likelihood. Typically speaking, we don't want to chase those bets on PrizePicks or Underdog. And then just to recap, guys, I do think that this is the best bet that we are currently going to get by the time most of you guys are watching this video. Hopefully it's still there, but that just seems like a very, very solid bet for us. And then, guys, I'm going to jump into Portland versus Phoenix, but I want to call it Dallas versus Golden State. I really didn't see much there. For Golden State, we're only getting Curry prop bets right now. I would imagine that's because Andrew Wiggins and Curry are both questionable. We don't know who's going to be active in that game. So kind of just to stay away from me now. And we weren't getting any LA Lakers versus Memphis prop bets as I was recording this video. I'm assuming because of the LeBron stuff, if he's going to be in or out in this game, most likely out. So I'm not going to be covering that. So let's go ahead and get into this Phoenix versus Portland game. I do think it's really worth pointing out that Bradley Beal is currently questionable. We have no idea if he's going to play or not, but we are getting bets for him, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal and Devin Booker, which is strange. He seems to be truly questionable. And if I had to choose, I would say he's more teetering towards potentially sitting in this game. And so it's weird to me that we are getting lines for them in general on Underdog. And we're getting them on other sportsbooks as well. We're actually getting sportsbook data in for this bet, which is crazy to me. Probably shouldn't be happening. And so if Bradley Beal were to sit, Kevin Durant gets a decent boost, 2.4 more points per 36 with Bradley Beal off the court, to a total of 27.7 points per 36 with Bradley Beal off the court, which is a decent bump here. And it's a solid matchup against Portland. Now, the concern in the matchup against Portland is that this game has the potential to be a blowout, okay? The Suns could easily blow them out, which to me is a bigger reason as to why Bradley Beal could end up sitting in this game. DVP-wise, guys, he should be able to get the over 24.9, so it's an increase in his expected production given the matchup there as well. We pull up his recent games as well, guys. Now, he's been someone that was a little bit banged up for a little bit, but 30, 13 in limited minutes, and then 21, 30, 23. So kind of consistently getting this over. And he averages 26 on the season. Just a strange line there. And then Devin Booker. So this is where maybe they do think that Beal's going to sit, because the line that we're getting on Devin Booker is certainly an interesting one. Now, yes, it is a good matchup for sure. He does average 25 points on the season as well. But the fact that they're giving us this line at 25.5 while also giving us that KD line was a head scratcher to me. I don't really get why Booker's would be probably slightly higher than it should be, and Durant's isn't. And I'm saying that because you look at it, guys, with Beal off the court, Booker averages 8 more points per 36. Okay, and that's about 21 or 28.1 points per 36 with him off the court. And he's someone that gets heavy minutes regardless. And so this is one where I feel like it's less of a lock and load, but he definitely does benefit a little bit more with Booker off the court, or sorry, with Beal off the court. And so I could see this line maybe getting bumped a little bit too high if Beal were to end up sitting. Okay, so that would then become the concern there. Now, I wish I could find some other bets with Portland to run it back with, maybe a little stack there. Portland's been spreading out their production a little bit too much to the point where I didn't feel the need to go out of my way to target any of those bets. Now, I do just want to zoom out and kind of look at the 9-5 PrizePicks board here real quick and just highlight a couple of bets that I don't mind as well. Like Miles Turner to get over 7.5 rebounds. It makes sense. You look at the matchup. Again, a little bit of a game stack. You could toss him into a stack for that game. The matchup with the Pelicans is strong, like one of the best matchups for opposing bigs in terms of rebounds. And so the fact that this is popping up as a good over bet right now, about a 53% likelihood to hit, I'm kind of okay getting there. Julius Randle against the Spurs, I'm kind of fine with that one as well. All these other ones that are popping up as the unders maybe don't need to get there as much so. Halliburton, though, popping up for over or for his under 4.5 rebounds. Again, just to mention, like 90% hit rate for that under, which is crazy. And then from there, kind of just okay. And so with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and get into the bet slips for this slate. But first, I want to remind you guys of the promo code that's currently going on the website. Use the promo code Keep Cashing to get 20% off your first 9-to-5 month membership. Or if you guys are someone that has signed up before and is thinking about doing it again, use that as well. It'll get you the first month for just $10. So take it, or sorry, for just $8. So take advantage of that. Going ahead and get into the prize picks by the day here. I do like this bet a decent amount. And watch, he's going to get injured or something. It's just going to be full tilt on us. But again, this bet is 0.89x on Underdog for the over. So they're reducing the payout because it's such a good bet. And so this one will probably be gone by the time most of you guys get here. Honestly, I think I could get there for a demon bet at 5.5 rebounds. And I just paired it up with Trey Murphy. You can, if you guys like another bet that I mentioned in this video or just in general, by all means pair it with that. But again, I did like the Trey Murphy bet. And so for me, guys, it was super hard. I got the top 8 prop bets here, and there's like about 11 that I liked here. Like Alex Sarr for over his points at 10.5. I could have tossed in here as well. Now, again, the underdog slips that I'm showing you guys are more just my favorite bets for the day and trying to gain some edges on some bets. Again, going with the Trey Murphy, I'm fine with that. Went with Goga for his over rebounds here. You could go his over points. Don't mind that. CJ McCollum for over 21.5 points. I expect that one, honestly, to probably get up to 23, but at least 22.5. Kevin Durant, this one's going to shoot up if Bradley Beal is indeed ruled out. If he's not, still a good matchup against Portland. I would say if Beal playing, though, is active in this game, definitely increases the chances of KD not getting his full normal minutes because of a blowout risk. Chris Paul to get over 8.5 assists, just solid. Got 13 against Minnesota last time out. Halliburton as well. He also had a high assist total in this previous match against the Pelicans, who are a team that typically give up a lot of assists. So chasing that game. And then, yes, this same bet here. Again, this is 0.89x on Underdog right now. So kind of reducing the payout a little bit. And then Devin Booker. Devin Booker was the last player into it, the slip. And if you guys want to change it, again, I feel like that's the tightest one that we currently have. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure to give a like to the video. Seriously, if you guys are watching this at night, that is greatly appreciated. One, clap, hands off to you guys for being up and trying to grind out some profitable slips. But so am I. Likes do help on the channel. Get this video to 100 likes. That's awesome. All right, but comment your guys' favorite prop bet if you guys have one. If not, just leave an emoji. That does help out the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.